I should have been there. Tom could have been my partner if he had worked harder. Were Anne not so boring, she would have got married a long time ago. My parents must have been there that day. Nowhere have I ever had such bad service. My brother is itching as if he had a mosquito bite. If we had a vacancy in our office, we would offer you the position. If you had gone on holiday with us, you would have had a great time. Had Sam done his homework, Mom wouldn't be angry now. It is high time I did my work. Sarah should have done that assignment. My friends said they would have done everything by Friday. Hadn't Mary said that everything would be fine? In no way do I say sorry. Hardly had we said a word, she hung up. I would have said something if they had been listening to me. It is high time we went home. Had Jane gone with me, she wouldn't have got bored. If the driver hadn't splashed me with water, I would have gone to the theater. He'd like Chris to go away. Hardly had Mina got into bed when the telephone rang. You would have got a present if you weren't naughty. I feel shivery as if I got flu. They must have got your letter. Sandra would make an appointment with him if she wasn't always busy. Your siblings might have made everything possible for you. I regret having made you sad. Never had we made such a mistake. Little did he know. You could have been known as a great actor. If Mark had known my guests, he would have joined us. I wish I knew his story. Your sisters should have thought twice before going there. That task might have been thought difficult. Only later did she really think about the situation. Without having thought about the consequences, you shouldn't have answered. If only you could take me with you. It's high time you took your blood pressure. All the necessary papers should have been taken yesterday. I wish Jane would have taken her books back. He looked as if he had never seen a syringe. Had we seen him, we would have paid him the money. My wish was that we should see the palace. Seldom has Alice seen such beautiful work. My son must have come home. If Anne had followed my advice, her self-respect would have come back to her. We are grateful to Joe for having come to New York. Coming over the hill, they saw the blueberries. No matter what car my uncle may want, he can't afford it. The boy must be feeling better, he's been wanting up all day. If only you wanted to be a writer. Respecting others is first of all wanting to get to know them. Being looked at makes me nervous. You should have looked at her more tender. Dora said she would have looked through my script by Wednesday. I wish you had looked at me that evening. If Mom used my advice, she would have escaped that trouble. If only Dan had used our notes for the exam. Never do my parents use public transport. He couldn't have used my photos. Being finally found, the dog couldn't stop to whine. Had you been more attentive, your keys would have been found much faster. Lest you should be found, hide in my room. Pauline is glad to have found that letter. Bill might give us a ride to the train station if he had repaired his car. They should have given another chance to you. If my parents had given me more money, I could afford a new car. Lest you should be given a bad mark, you will have to study hard. I am sorry not to have told you about it earlier. He must have told you about my issue. You would have been told about it, if you hadn't forgotten to call. Being told about doesn't mean being famous. Paul will be happy to have been working here for all his life. If my husband didn't work flexi time, he wouldn't get up at any time he likes. I wish we could have worked it out. They want my colleagues to be working on it. If I had known you were so busy, I would not have called you. Had they called my parents, they wouldn't have lost me. If Mary hadn't been calling you, you would have overslept. Being called a wrong name irritates him. However hard he may try, he can't cross the road here against the stoplight. If he had not been so nice, I wouldn't have tried to help him. Having tried yoga, she became more active. If we had tried to do that, we would have failed. Would you have helped me if I had asked you? If we saw him tomorrow, we would ask him about it. Who would he have asked for help if he had needed it at that time? Being constantly asked makes me feel smart. Would Dan have needed our company if he had stayed alone? Had my mates needed my advice, they would have asked for it. I wish you wouldn't need these gadgets. If it is needed, we will give you more information. No matter how strong she might feel dizzy, she didn't lose consciousness. Grandpa would have felt better if you had come to him. He expects you to be feeling his pain. Having felt guilty, Michael ran away. Had Nora become a dentist, she would earn more money. Her family would have never become happy unless she had got successfully married. I wish you would become more responsible. Having become a musician, Leo wanted to play in a huge orchestra.